Wants to allow EU citizens to visit the UK without a visa after Brexit. They would need only to seek permission to work, study or settle here. EU citizens are currently free to live and work in the UK without a permit. The Home Office says managing migration is about access to work and benefits, as much as the ability to control entry at a physical border. Well, we can speak to Andrew Bridgen now, the Conservative MP who supported the Leave campaign in the referendum, and we're very grateful for your time. Thanks for joining us. Are you happy with this idea?
I think it's an eminently sensible proposal by the government, and I welcome it. It's something I've actually been campaigning for. It's freedom of movement, but not freedom to work or claim benefits. There are many reasons why people would quite rightly want to come and visit our country. What we're going to do is have a system that ensures that they're the right reasons and not the wrong reasons.
If you don't need a visa to come in, though, how can you stop someone coming in and working for cash, say?
Well, that's the black economy. I mean, that's nothing you can do about that, whether they come from the EU or anywhere else currently. But I mean, people will still have to come through passport control. We'll know who's come into the country. I'm actually speaking to the government. The policing of this system, the enforcement of it is going to be crucial, and there are some interesting ideas I think we've got about how we might be able to do that. And I'll be discussing that with David Davis, perhaps even an eligibility card for full residency.
Oh, OK, that's interesting. And just can you tell us a little bit more about your thoughts about how the work visa might actually operate?
Well, I think it's going to be varied on the skills shortages we have, and also geographic location. In my constituency, unemployment is already only about 1%. We have actually got more jobs in Leicestershire available than we have unemployed people, so we do require workers to come either from the rest of the UK or from abroad to fill those vacancies. Other areas with higher unemployment, it'll be a different proposition, and I think that's a system that we can, as a sovereign parliament, we can make those decisions of what areas we issue work visas in and for how many and for how long, and that is something that people can vote for through the ballot box. Different parties will undoubtedly have different proposals going forward, something we could never ever enforce while we're a member of the European Union.
One of the main reasons that people voted to leave the European Union was a desire to see a restriction on the freedom of movement, and I wonder whether some people might look at these proposals and think they should go further.
I don't agree with that. Certainly immigration was an issue, but for me and for a lot of people in the East Midlands who overwhelmingly voted to leave the European Union, it's about sovereignty, about taking back control of our money, our laws and our borders. So I think it's part of a whole package. Who was ever going to want us to have visas to, when I want to go over to Paris to watch England beat France at rugby, do I think we all have to have a visa for the weekend? Why would we ever want to dissuade people from coming to visiting our country and spending money in our tourist industry? I just don't think that's feasible, and I don't think that's what any right-minded person actually wants to happen. If people want to come to our country and enjoy our hospitality and then go back to their own country, that's absolutely fine. We should make that as easy as possible for them and as an enjoyable experience, just the same as the reciprocal we'd expect when we go to their country.
But people listening to this might think, well, actually, really, what's going to change?
Well, what is going to change is that we'll be out of the single market, out of the customs union.
But in terms of freedom of movement, I mean,
we can have a sovereign.
Forgive me for interrupting, but in terms of freedom of movement,
people can come over to our country and visit. There's 3 million EU citizens who are probably going to decide that their future lies in our country post-Brexit. They're going to stay in the UK. They will want to go home and visit their relatives back in their previous countries, and also their relatives might want to come here. Why would you want to interrupt them being able to come and visit their relatives? What you won't be able to do is they won't be able to work without a permit, and they won't be able to claim benefits. I think that's the big bugbear as far as people were concerned at the referendum. Andrew Bridgen, we're really grateful for your time. Many thanks.
I think that what will happen is that almost you've seen it in the way the news has reacted over the last year. Mrs. Miggin's cat run over, Brexit. Your neighbour moves house, Brexit. House prices up, Brexit. House prices down, Brexit. Everything is ascribed to Brexit. There will be bumps on the road. Some plaster will come off the ceiling from time to time, and there will be some excitable headlines, but we'll end up in a very, very good place.